I need to take my time here. Honestly, I'm gonna be totally frank. Commentating over this is going to be a giant pain in the ass because nothing's new. Oh, well, I'm dumb. Okay, yeah. I think I'm gonna go silent for this, and we're just gonna go. We're just gonna time lapse this. I could try and commentate it, but I don't think it's gonna work. I think I'm just gonna be frustrated, and making noises when in reality I'd like to go through this as fast as possible. Okay, so we're in full post-commentary mode, and so here's the deal. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna cut out every in-between death. So you're gonna see the first death generally in most areas, and then the success. I could show all the deaths in between, but they're kind of a pain in the butt. Anyway, I'm also going to explain how I did things as I went through. So this one's kind of a pain in the butt because these ones you have to like jump through in the middle. And then you have to get around a second set of saw blades. It's not that bad, but like initially when you're not used to it, oh, it's terrible. Like it's bad. This is the point where I'm like, shit, is there like any other way to go? Is there like a bench or a checkpoint or like some kind of rest area? And the answer is no. This place is torture, by the way. It took me about an hour to get through. And most of that was just constant failure. It was rough. So this area is actually not so bad. Comparatively, you just gotta drop around some saw blades. You know, don't die. Easy peasy, right? The main issue with this game, oh yeah, this is the point where I freaked out and I'm like, where do I go next? I can't go left. And the answer is you'd go down. It's actually really easy. Mostly, I don't know. After doing that, like, don't take any damage flower delivery thing, this was a little bit easier. But yeah, I can see why people are going to have like a huge amount of trouble with this. I was reading on the forums and everybody's just like, why is this awful? And the answer is, yeah, why is it awful? I don't know. The developers really don't want people getting the true ending for this game. Anyway, yeah, so it's just platforming stuff. I mean, it's not like they really introduce anything new. They just make it so much harder. And there's the first skip. I died. I think I just got hit by those moving saw blades. I'm not going to show every death immediately just because I learned how to edit better as I went along. Anyway, this section sucks. So see that flat platform we just came off of? The big, long, thin one? That is the only checkpoint for this entire area past the, like, first-ish. So that means you have to do all of these saw blades perfectly, which isn't so bad. It's just a matter of timing. But, like, as we go up here, if you notice, there's not exactly much of a gap, and it gets worse as the platform gets higher. And so you have to kind of time it here. So I think I started trying to time it with this saw blade. And you can pretty much keep time with it. So if I, like, desync slightly from it, that gives me the, you know, way we need to go through. I don't know. I don't know if I actually needed to do this, but it felt like it was necessary. Props to anybody that can get through this entire area without messing up. Also, that scared the shit out of me. So here's where I'm, like, messing around. I see that, like, upper areas that saw blade goes by, and I'm like, I should go back and check that out. And so do. And it's a complete wash, and there's a death. And we go back here. Okay, so there are other checkpoints, but, like, that entire last... I don't know, this entire area is rife with, like, or not rife, is pretty much, like, devoid of all good checkpoints, and it sucks. Because it means, like, you get past a hard section, there's 2 more hard sections immediately after it. And admittedly, this is going to make it look easy because I don't fail that much. But, like, I literally cut about, I'm going to say about 40 minutes of footage out of here. Anyway, just some more people, they say the exact same thing. Nice thing is, they do give you little, soul repositories. So this one's not so hard, you just have to fall in time with the saw blades, and I just hit the spears. But then, of course, you have to keep doing it, and they get faster. Not so bad, but it's rough. Real trick is just time them. Yeah, this is all trial and error. I could give a better guide, but honestly... if you guys are doing this too, you're pretty much going to have to go through this hell. My guide's only going to help so much here. I'm not even sure if this is a guide or just like, this is kind of how I did it. And there's the first segment. Okay, all in all, that actually wasn't so bad. I still think, for these, like, merciless sections, I will be, going commentary free just because My poor hands really don't appreciate... Wait, what? My poor hands don't really appreciate being tossed around that much. Where do I go now? Oh, no. I assume I don't go back. Where do we go? Where do we go? This is really concerning. Oh, please don't make me redo that because I missed a switch or something. Well, no, we lit this thing up, so maybe it's like a door that we just missed along the way here. Maybe it's on the other side, maybe it's where the exit is. I have no idea. Because, yeah, oh... Yeah, it has one of two lights. Open. Open. This is the way that I came through originally, yeah? Nope. Okay. This is new. And also just as evil. Okay, at least it gives me this. Well, I guess I'll see you guys on the flip side again. Hello, flip side. Welcome. Anyway, so a lot of these are actually really easy. Okay. I could have avoided that. A lot of these are really easy, and I could have probably commentated some of this. The only problem is just, it's so hard to, like, play games well while you're commentating. Like, it really does take a huge amount of, like, focus and, you know, just skill and stuff like that. And I respect anybody that can, like, do, say, the speedrun, especially of, like, a really impossibly hard game, without, like, messing up, and still be entertaining and interesting. I cannot tell you how many times I hit that saw blade that I just hit my face into, or actually any of these saw blades. It was actually one of the longer sections of failures, which is hilarious, because it was not actually that dangerous in comparison to like this, which has like all sorts of zippy things. I've noticed I actually do pretty well against the stuff that's like quote-unquote impossible, and the stuff that should be easy tends to be the thing that screws me up the most. Anyway, there's a cheat in this area, but I'm not going to show it until later. There's a trick for, like, dealing with some of these things. You can actually sword hop off of everything, and I'm not going to do it till later, mainly because I just don't trust it. But so if you ever see a wall of spikes, that wall of spikes on the left that we had seen, you can actually sword hop up that, which is kind of neat. We're not going to do that for a while, though. I just figured I'd mention it because there's not much to say about these. It's mostly just time the saw blades, don't screw up. Speaking of timing the saw blades, this part sucked. So I was like, okay, maybe I just wait for the blank spot and crystal dash through. Yeah, that doesn't work. Now what you gotta do is kind of the rough stuff, actually. You gotta walk this one. So the trick here is actually really easy. You wait for the saw blades to go up. Originally I started by waiting for them to go down because I thought there was a longer delay, and there might be. But when they go up, there's a much lower chance of it hitting your feet as you're trying to walk in or off. So you just have to slowly time it and walk in. Except for this part, there's no gaps, so you actually have to blitz through at this point. At least for these next three saw blades. And this is me just, you know, kind of getting used to the rhythm of it. I'm so lucky I didn't just get hit on the other side. This is actually was like, I want to say my 6th try, and I never made it past that big one, ever. I couldn't make it, and then the last one, I'm just like, yep, got it, no problem. It's like, what? How? Anyway, this one scared me for a moment. I'm like, how am I supposed to get through here? The answer is this teeny gap. I can't believe I made that dash, but of course, I immediately hit my face into the saw blade. There's not much you can do. Trick for this spot is super simple, actually. You just stop super dashing after a certain point. Just press the button again. You slow down, gives you enough time to air brake, and then stop. And then, you know, double jump and stuff like that. Anyway, same trick here. They like repeating these spots. There is actually a gap between the large saw blade that you can get through, between the saw blade and the spears, but don't do that. It's impossible to get back up. And I don't know if there's a checkpoint there, but one way or another, I wouldn't recommend trying it. It's death. Also, there's little saw blades that you have to time here. So if you time it poorly while you're trying to charge your crystal thing, you get hit in the butt by a saw blade, and that's not fun. But yeah, there are actually plenty of little checkpoints. You just have to get past a lot of hell first. Anyway, they never say anything new, and save point. Oh, there's a drop-down point over there. That's confusing. My problem is I don't have a whole lot of commentary here, apart from just like, this is really hard on me and my wrist. And it's not pleasant. Okay, well, we got another elevator. Hopefully that was the end of it, but I get the feeling, okay, that wasn't actually so bad. However, I get the feeling this is going to get worse. And worse it has. This is actually one of the segments where I cut out the most. This little leg and the next one. So these little white bugs, you have to hit them to get them out of the way. They do actually move, though. So you can actually make kind of like a little gap for yourself there. Also, if you are doing this area, make sure you hit them at least a couple of times. Oops. Forgot to blend that section there. Whatever, I'll get it later. But yeah, so you have to make sure you get them out of the area, but make sure you hit them because you have to hit them for the Hunter's Journal. I don't think you can actually fight these guys anywhere else. And it'd be pretty ridiculous if you somehow managed to make it through the zone without hitting a single one. But you don't necessarily have to. Yeah, okay, you kind of do. You could sword hop off of the spears instead, but that would take some effort. Anyway, kind of lucked my way through there. The reason why those bugs are so dangerous is they'll knock you into the saw blades and the spikes and the thorns, and it sucks. Anyway, part 2. It's actually really similar logic, but so what you gotta do is you gotta wait for the saw blade. Normally it will hit you because it's such a tight squeeze. There's very little wiggle room there, but you can make it. Anyway, so this is where I start cheating. I'd mentioned this. So originally I tried going over to the left, and that entire area is a hellhole, and not very good. Honestly, I didn't even get very far in because I couldn't figure out how to time it. Yeah, see, right there, it didn't work so great. So the real trick is, cheat. I'd mentioned this earlier, that I started playing tricks. So there's a number of, like, platforming tricks that we've known about since the beginning of the game. So here's sword hopping. I'm sure there's a way that you can go, like, down and around past the saw blades lower, but what I figured out is you can kind of hang out there, and then you can make a little gap. Now, normally you're supposed to come up past these spears from the left, but you can just cheese the whole area and ignore it. I'm sure the developers know about this. I can't imagine that they put that in without. But anyway, so yeah, then you just have to time with the saw blade and death. There's actually a really sneaky little trick with this saw blade. I think you might be able to time your jumps properly, so you can just get up the side. But what I figured out is there's actually some clearance on the saw blade. So if you notice, I can slide down and it doesn't hit me. So I just put in little jumps while it wasn't around. Anyway, that's maybe one other way that you can get through there. I honestly have no idea. And then it looks like there's this big area that you can get up to, up on the top left, but you actually have to go right first, past all this mess, to get there. It's not so bad, except for this section actually really sucks. The spears are almost, you know what, no, the spears are actually 100% worse than the saw blades, because they like to put them on the quote-unquote safe spots, and they're kind of merciless. Also, if you touch the side of a spear, you die. It's not just the tops. And the timing on them is kind of annoying with anything, especially because of, like, how high they go in. Because you can't, like, hover above. So what I figured out is, instead of going up, go under. Works well enough. One point, you have to make sure you jump off the wall at least once, or you don't get your double jump back. That's one mistake I made a couple of times here. Okay, so this is another kind of hard part. I mean, this entire area is awful. I'm just trying to figure out how to get around, because there's like a safe place there, but like trying to get around these saw blades and these spears, just, it doesn't look like it's gonna work that great. I actually managed to make it there, except for you can't go on the left because it's rubble. You can't jump off with that. So I tried to time it and no dice. And you're back at the bottom again, which sucks. So I got frustrated. I didn't like this whole section here. I actually tried getting past this a couple of times. It didn't work so great, though. Usually I'd get hit by the spikes or the saw blade, and it was just hard to time, so I decided to start cheating. So if you notice, you can sword hop off the side of spears. There's also a very tiny safe spot there. It's really hard to get on there. I only managed to do it once this final time, sheerly by pure luck. I probably should have redone some of these just so I'd have like more reliable evidence here. But if you can manage it, nice. Like, good for you, because that solves so many problems there. And then here's the next part. Honestly, these aren't actually like impossible. None of them are. This one's actually really easy. Originally, I tried crystal dashing through there and didn't work so great. Instead, you just want to hop through. Easy peasy. And then this is a part that you have to crystal dash through. No questions asked. Except for, of course, you got to make sure that you're lined up, which I was not. Anyway, you want to dash when it's at the bottom, and you want to make sure you don't hit that one at the end. So that's screwed up. Okay. So here's where I really start cheating. It's weird in a guide to be like, here's how you cheat the level, but like, honestly, this is so hard. Anyway, so you can sword hop here, because the sword is contacting just on the left. Make sure, though, that you don't get hit by that, saw blade. The trick is, you can actually sword hop on the saw blade if you time it well, or you can just make the jump if you're, like, savvy enough. I barely made it. Anyway, this section sucked, just like the saw blades earlier, they would go up and down, same deal. So if you can't walk this one, I tried it. Didn't work, you gotta dash it, which is not easy for timing, but, so the first three you can dash. This last one doesn't seem like you can, but you can dash it with one dash. Invincibility dashes do not get you through any saw blades or spears, by the way, if any of you guys are trying to be savvy about this. And this last section, yep, can be dashed. Just don't think it can't be. Anyway, Dash Master would actually be really helpful here, but gravity does the trick. And this one's a pain in the butt because there's double, but there's like little safe spots. They don't count as checkpoints. They're just little safe spots. I'm dumb there. So just, you know, make sure that as soon as you clear the spears, you land on the right, and that'll solve the problem. I'm just waiting for my hive blood to recharge. At this point, actually, I have no idea what I'm waiting for. Sometimes I just like kind of zonked out in the middle of this. I was just like super brain dead. It's not actually like hard. It's just this is such a taxing experience that it's a bit hard to like you know, get through without just feeling drained. Anyway, okay. Are we done yet? Can we be done? You know it's bad when I have to resort to cheating through platforming segments to actually do it. Oh. No! We're not done. We're not even close to done. Oh, hi. Thanks, checkpoint. Pardon? Oh, okay. I guess that's doable. Yep. So, there's another spot that you could kill those white beetles if you somehow missed them earlier. They only spawn in this entire zone, and I don't know if there's another way to, like, get... I don't think you can get back here, by the way. At least, not from my experience. So this part sucks. Because not only do you have to make it past the saw blades and the thorns and stuff like that, you also gotta make it past a bunch of spears. So the first set's easy. The second set, easy. The third set is hard. That's a lot of spears, and you can't sword hop your way through here. There's, like, not a whole lot of a gap. There is one, but it's still a pain in the butt. And you gotta make sure the white beetles don't mess you up too. Because they can send you flying down, they can knock you into the spears, everything. So just good luck, honestly. It'll take tries. I kinda lucked out there. I'd never actually made it that far. This is normal for me, I guess. I make it a distance, and then I'm just like, can I make it past this point? And the answer is, as soon as you just clear that last section, even if it gets harder, you can make it, or at least I could. I don't know. Good luck, everybody. This is actually it. All you have to do is just crystal dash through this last section. I second-guessed it a couple of times, thinking there was going to be death on the other side, and there was not. There's actually no more death. We're done. This is it. I almost fell in my death there. That would have been embarrassing. All right. So everyone around here's dead. We don't have a bench to come back to, do we? Please tell me you have a bench nearby. Okay, well, we got some soul here. That's a good sign. Just gonna make sure that there's no benches hanging out around here. Nope. Okay, well, let's hope that there's not, like, a ridiculously impossible boss hanging out around here. There's a soul power thing, which always worries the crap out of me. If we're lucky, maybe the bench is up top. No. This is the king. No cost too great. Collected the king's soul. We're done. That's it for the White Palace. Soul of worm, soul of root, heart of void. We're done. Oh, thank Jeebus, we're done. That was a giant nightmare. I assume these guys... Oh, where have you gone, dear king? And it's the same thing. I was kind of hoping they'd both have unique dialogue or whatever. You also can't get back in here, even if you wanted to. You know, once you've got the second half of the White Crest, and get your hands on King's Soul, which gives you soul at short increments, you can never go back in there. At least not as far as I found. There might be a way, but I don't know. Anyway, so I guess that's it for the White Palace. I did this whole thing as a kind of separate thing, and this is post-commentary at this point. Just because I wanted to end it off. For anybody that came across this video, I'm probably going to list it as the guide through the White Palace or whatever. But this was a giant pain in the butt. It took a very long time to get through, and my hands are still aching hours later from trying to go through it. If you guys are trying to hundo this game, good luck. You're gonna need it. If you're attempting the White Palace, I'd recommend trying to do it all in one day, just so you don't get rusty. Because that is definitely one of those kinds of places that will make you quit a game if you're not prepared for it, and then you step away from it for a while. Because, I had to dedicate a whole afternoon to it, and it is rough. Good luck. You're gonna need it. It's fun, though, and it's pretty rewarding. I mean, we're almost done. I'm at like 98, 99% for Hollow Knight. I can't wait to finish off the rest. So, I guess with that, thanks for watching this little guide on the getting through the White Palace / you know, episode, what, 46 of my Let's Play? Yeah. And as always, thanks for watching. I guess I already said that. Whoopsie, whatever. Thanks. Bye.